So a senator from southeast of Nigeria called me on Friday. On Friday, and I want you guys to follow this journey. And I've spoken once with his special assistant. There was a matter I brought up on social media, and then so the special assistant reached out to me. I made some clarifications. Of course, I came back and I reported it, even though I didn't specify that I had information from the National Assembly on it. But this senator called me and we spoke for about 15 minutes. One of the things he said to me is that we started this battle quite late, but it is better late than never. I'm talking about the battle of electoral reforms. He said that a lot of the persons that are defecting to the All Progressives Congress are defecting because they felt that the Nigerian people have are succumbed to the extra judicial, electoral, democratic tactics of the ruling APC in bringing everybody under a one-party system. And it was regrettable, I'm telling you. Though they are senators, they are handicapped. Let me give you an instance. Do you know, for example, that the almost all governors in Nigeria, almost all, have agreed to state police. The pressure group of the Nigerian Governor Forum, all of them, the PDP Governors Forum, the APC, there is every time in the National Executive Council meeting, the Federal Executive Council meeting, there is always on the agenda the state police issue, but it is never ever attended to. You know why? They have sensed the body language of the president is not in support of it. And guess what? Very hypocritical is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a governor of Lagos State and even as a former governor in 2015, has been one of those calling for state police. So how come suddenly he's not agreeing? And then these people will tell you the governor should own up to responsibility in their state and do the needful. But the governors do not have control of the security apparatus, state police. It also means, therefore, of course, I've said it here before, I've been told, privileged, classified information, that as Akpabio's time as Senate President, Senate plenary doesn't resume at 11, resume at about 12:01, because Akpabio spends more time in Aso Rock getting briefing from the presidency of what to deliberate and what not to agree on. There are times where Akpabio leaves plenary to go and meet the president. There are times, I'm telling you, these are, ask if you are close to anybody in the National Assembly, whether journalists or anybody, ask. These are very known facts, right? So what is looking like, for example, is that they have sensed that the electoral reform agenda is not something that this current National Assembly is taking serious. So the few of them that wants to stay back, because politics in itself is not moral. Sincerely, it's survival. Whether you have, sometimes the most important thing for these people, according to the senator, is providing dividends of democracy for their people. Whether or not the platform they use may be important, may not be important, all of this can be argued, but it's not a moral thing. So what can I do to be able to stay back in office to provide this platform? So they are running for survival. I don't know if you get it. So if we had started to push, in fact, it was a mistake we made. Immediately 2023 general elections ended, the next most important thing was to start to push for electoral reforms. If we have started to push, all of these National Assembly members, lawmakers, governors defecting now, they will not have defected because they will not have a chance to have a better elections. Even if they still have their own reservations to having INEC being independent enough. But the fact that there are certain things that would have been implemented, that would have been imputed in the Electoral Act, that would have saved our democracy and allow for people, as I talk to you, the fact that the presidential election will be held on the same day with the National Assembly election is something that worries the National Assembly member. And that's why we've had almost a century, almost, because at the beginning of this 10th Assembly, we had, I think, about 140, 150 or 60 or so APC members. Then opposition too, almost equal. But as I talk to you now, APC is accounting for over 260 members. A lot of defection has happened because everybody is finding safety. And guess what? Like I said, politics is not moral. It's survival. So not as me and you here now, we can analyze to say, why did they not stand? how many persons will be willing to sacrifice? Do you know how much they spent in the elections? Do you know how long it has taken them to get there? I'm not making excuses for them. I'm saying this is enough for us to not allow the. Guess what? Since we started the Electoral Act pushing, electoral reform pushing, I dare see massive defections happening. And it's going to reduce as long as the Nigerian people continue to stand for the electoral reforms to happen. The Nigerian people must not allow this die. The Nigerian people must not allow this to end. We must push for the electoral reform. The safety of our democracy is in our hands. The safety of our institutions is in our hands. And that's why the APC guys are not supporting it, because it is a direct affront of their own political strategy to ensure that they cajole people to saying that if you don't come, you lose your election. So there is no other better time to stand for these electoral reforms, because it is not just going to give us a chance to force the government to work. It's also going to save our institutions from imminent collapse. Nigerians, this is a message I'm about to pass. Guys, this may not be total truth from the angle of the person. There may be other variables, other factors, other dynamics. But I could hear that the Nigerian political, a lot of politicians are also being captured. Some of them are in cage. Some of us are freer. There are a lot of these guys who are in offices in Nigeria.